Bill Dudley of the New York Fed warning of inflation risk if the central bank doesn't make a move.
Well, there's a risk to their credibility because, one, inflation's higher for longer. Two, inflation expectations are starting to rise. And three, they've sort of bound themselves in terms of, when they can actually raise rates. They said they're not going to raise rates at all until they've hit 2% inflation, hit full employment, and are confident inflation is going to stay above 2% in the future. If inflation expectations get unanchored, that's going to push inflation up even before we get to maximum sustainable employment. So they could be in a tough spot.
Are they in a tough spot already? Joining us now is Michael McKee. Morning, Mike.
Morning, John. And this is not going to be about the Fed statement. This is going to be about Jay Powell and what he says in his press conference after the release of the statement. The first problem that the Fed has is, as Bill Dudley was talking about, the economy. What are they going to say about inflation? Are they going to talk about it in danger terms or stick to the transitory line? And what does that mean for how hawkish they might be about when they might start raising rates? And then you can see growth there falling off. That is the Atlanta Fed measure. And do they suggest there is a stagflation underway, or do they talk about the fact that it might be just a temporary pause because of COVID? They have a second problem that they have to deal with, and this will definitely come up in the news conference, is what do they say about the conflicts of interest that seem to have come forward from their various members of the Fed buying and selling securities? Does the Fed have a real problem, or is Jay Powell's review going to take care of it? What's he going to say about that? And then the third problem, and the big issue, of course, is what does he say about tapering? I mean, you take a look at this, and on the far left-hand side, you can see there the first taper after QE3. The T in the middle of the circle is when Ben Bernanke said, we're thinking about it, and we had the taper tantrum. You can see what happened to the 10-year yield. And then below that, you can see the box where they did taper. It took about a year. How long is the Fed going to signal it will taper for this time, given that, as Bill Dudley said, investors think the Fed won't raise rates until they are done tapering? So it's going to be a question of how Jay Powell explains it all to Wall Street.
Looking forward to your coverage tomorrow, Mike. As always, Michael McKee will be joining Tom Keene and myself for some special Fed coverage for you tomorrow afternoon on Bloomberg TV and on Bloomberg Radio.